Hey guys, how's it going? We are doing our Nom 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 kit, and we're here at Bapavro, and I love it here. Believe it or not, this was one of the first kitchens that I cooked at coming back to Madison, back when it was Cocalico back in the day, and now it is this absolutely gorgeous. Basically, if you want good Italian food, like this is the place you go. And I'm here with the chef and owner, Francesco, and we are about to go make a freaking awesome meal, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell me, how long you been here, man?
We've been here 14 years now, going 15 next year and probably next summer. But it's been a wild ride.
It's getting wilder, man.
Especially the last few months. It's fun still, and it's fun to have seeing actually people literally coming back to the patio.
Oh yeah, his patio. So check this out. It's all like tied up right now because downtown, but they got a gorgeous patio right out front. So they've just opened that up, and the dining room is still off limits, just like at Lily's. But we're gonna go on back to the kitchen, and we're gonna cook through a meal. You gotta go kind of behind the scenes, yeah. So back in the day, Cocalico was down that hallway and to a corner, and that's where I used to cook. So here we go, back into the kitchen. I'm just gonna scoot on the other side of you, man. So here's all the, a lot of the meats that we're gonna have in the kits. We just kind of prepped up a single batch version of what we're gonna have. We've got some eggplant that's gonna be all fried up, and some Kalamata olives, tomatoes and fresh dill, onion, celery, feta cheese, a little tomato basil, olive oil, capers, a little vinegar and sugar. So tell me about what's the sauce we're making?
Well, the sauce is almost more like a side. Caponata is a typical Sicilian dish that can be eaten even cold or room temperature in the summer. We've been making caponata for a long time, thanks also to Alessandro, one of our employees that's from Sicily. And we thought it would go well and perfectly match with the lamb sausage. It's all flavors that match together, and really our food. It's not that we're doing something different from this basket. Just the power of food, just simple food.
Well, and also great, always use local farmers all the time, and doing some great ones here. Check this out. This is the lamb sausage that they literally just got done making before I came in. And that's going to be in your basket as well. So over here, we got some onions kind of sweating and sauteing.
A little bit of onion. This is kind of the style of the whole recipe. It's kind of important that you use a good extra virgin olive oil for this. Better if you use an Italian salt. I'm just kidding. This is from Normandy. this is from Normandy, but we use it anyway. We like the French too. Okay.
Sometimes you like the French.
Sometimes, not all the time. Just adding a little bit of water. That also helps keeping the onion white. We're not trying to caramelize anything. There's not a lot of caramelization in most vegetables in Italy, and we're not looking for that sweet, deep, rich flavor that is really sweet from onions, especially in traditional dishes. So the salt in the water actually keeps this onion white because it lowers the temperature of the pan, and we're not to worry about too much color getting into that onion.
I'm guessing that also keeps the olive oil from smoking too, right?
Yeah, so it keeps the entire pan a little cooler than it would be otherwise. The next thing I'm doing after putting those onions and in the pan with the olive oil, we got some nice Sicilian capers, also from Sicily. Fantastic if you can find on the market out there some that are in salt. Typically Sicilian capers are bigger, but they're not preserved in vinegar. Vinegar actually destroys a lot of the flavor from fresh capers. I like to buy some salted capers, and then just what you probably gonna have to do on Sunday for the basket, take your salted capers and put them in a little bit of water, leave them there for maybe half hour, just to reconstitute and lose some of that extra saltiness that you don't need.
Gotcha.
After that, you take them out, you drain them, of course, take them out of the water, you drain them, and you add them to your onion. And now we're gonna let that sweat just a little bit.
I feel like capers are something that a lot of American cooks don't cook with very often unless they're putting it in tartar sauce. So I love capers, man. I also love frying them up. When they get all crispy, like little popcorn.
Oh, those are delicious as well that way. I like capers anyway, so I can use them a lot. And I just wish they were a little cheaper sometimes.
Oh, yeah, no kidding, right?
They're not the cheapest thing. We're just waiting basically for this onion to get a little softer. You don't want the caponata to end up, when you bite into it, to have like crunchy pieces of onion. So cooking a little longer, maybe adding a little bit more water. So again, we don't get browning onions. And the next thing would be, while this is going, we're gonna actually put a little pot on and quickly blanch that celery. So again, we're not gonna get crunchy pieces of celery at the end, but there's a little softness. Celery will take a little longer than onion to cook. So I'm just gonna cook the celery just a little bit, maybe 5 minutes, 6 minutes in water to soften up.
That's always something we get to do in our commercial kitchens, just throw shit whenever we want to. That's the thing you miss out on your home kitchens, man. Like here, we just get to dump it wherever.
Also,
so a good amount of salt.
Don't use very good salt for as bulk salt in your own kitchen, otherwise you're gonna go through $100 of salt every month. Probably.
Yeah, one of my favorite stories was back when I worked at Cocalico here. Jeff Orr had bus tubs full of ice that would keep all of his core containers cool. And we had a new chef come in, and he always salted the ice. And he grabbed a whole bag of fleur de sel and used that to salt the whole bag. It was like $100 worth of salt. No big deal. No big deal. So we're letting that sweat. We're letting it sweat. And I saw a good amount of salt go into that. Go into that celery.
The idea is always to salt the vegetables almost like the seawater. The same thing they say kind of about pasta. I don't think pasta needs that much salt, but seawater level salt for vegetables when you're boiling them or when you're simmering in water, I think is always a good idea.
Oh, those capers smell freaking amazing, man.
So we put in there. There's just a tiny bit more water while we're waiting for the celery to sweat.
And I noticed you have this hot griddle over here, right? So that's going to be for the sausage?
Yeah, that's our multi-million-dollar grill here for Papa. Well, we don't have a lot of space, as you can see. So
yeah, man, this is it, you guys. Here's the whole tour.
So we kind of have to make things do, make do with things a little bit. So this is our grill. Most of the time when you get a mixed grill dish from us, we're grilling everything on that Saturn grill, which works for us, again. And then the next thing we're doing, essentially we're getting the celery. We're gonna pretend, this is our live TV thing, so we're gonna pretend this 5 minutes went by. So please make sure the celery is a little more tender. It is. Adding a little bit of that celery now to our onion. And we're gonna let it sweat a little longer. A little longer here, a little more water.
And then we're going to be adding, this is that fried eggplant, right? So that was just...
Yeah, the fried eggplant is actually for the end.
okay.
Eggplants tend to get pretty soft when you cook them, so we're going to try to do that at the end so we don't destroy the eggplant with the heat.
Gotcha.
By stirring in the pan. The next thing we're going to do and going to add to the recipe are these 3 components. So a little bit of sugar and vinegar, or honey and vinegar if you prefer, but you'll see sugar and vinegar on the basket on Sunday, just to give the caponata that traditional flavor. It's essentially a sweet and sour flavor. So what caponata really is eggplant, fried eggplant, and sweet and sour sauce, essentially.
Oh, gotcha.
And then olives. The Italians will forgive me, but I'm using Kalamata olives from Greece. It's okay also. And a little bit of tomato. This is just tomato that we cook down. In Sicily, typically they would use the old-fashioned tomato paste. It's been sun-dried, actually physically sun-dried.
Wow.
In the sun, from the tomato that have been harvested from the summer. We're not going to do that. We're not trying to be uber traditional with things. We're just going to use a little bit of Salmontano tomatoes. That being stewed with just a little bit of basil to give a little bit of herb flavor to it.
Oh, you can smell it from here, man. It smells so good.
Yep. So olives basically go in next. Quickly saute that and add that. And then the little tomato. That's also going to act as a binder. It's going to add a little acidity just like the vinegar to the dish. But it's also going to be kind of the binder or the sauce base. And then the next thing we're going to be doing, add a little 50-50 mix of vinegar and sugar. And we're very close to getting our caponata done.
They really need smell-o-vision, by the way, guys. It smells so damn good.
And then because salt is never enough, we're going to add a little bit more salt.